Let us continue with the design of synchronous generator. So next we need to learn about the what are the design procedure of field winding. In that first step we need to learn about the exciter voltage, that is let V be the exciter voltage, because field winding of synchronous generator is excited by a separate DC source, correct? So that voltage we will be considering it as VE. VE be the exciter voltage. Then voltage across each field coil, that is EF, is given by 0.8 to 0.85 VE divided by P. So voltage across each field coil EF is considered as a 80 to 85% of exciter voltage divided by number of poles, that is P. Next, second step is HF, that is height of the field winding. HF is considered as a height of the field winding. Height of the field winding is equal to HPL. What is HPL? HPL is the height of the pole shoe. Height of the pole. Height of the pole, and H1 minus H1. H1 is the height of the pole shoe. Height of the pole shoe minus small amount of space taken by flanges and spools. What is meant by flanges and spool? So extra connections which are used in the field winding, which is used to connect the bus bar or the pole bar. Correct. Pole shoe where the winding is used to connect through the cable. So that is taken as a flanges and spool. So height of the field winding is taken as HPL minus H1. HPL is the height of the pole, and H1 is the height of the pole shoe minus space taken by the flanges, which is equal to height of the field winding. And third step is we need to assume the depth of the field winding, that is depth of the field winding is normally assumed, that is a DF. So normally for if the pole pitch is 0.1 millimeter, then the depth of the winding will be taken as 25 mm. If the pole pitch is around 0.2 millimeter, then depth of the field winding is taken as 35 millimeter. And normally the pole pitch is, if it is 0.4 millimeter, then depth of the winding is taken as 45 millimeter. Correct. So based on these values, based on the pole pitch, the depth of the winding is DF is assumed. So from that mean length of the turn is calculated. So from the depth of the field winding, the mean length of the turn is calculated. And what is the fourth step? Fourth step is voltage across each field coil, that is EF. Voltage across each field coil EF is calculated as field current into resistance of each field coil at 75 degree centigrade. Field current into resistance of each field coil at 75 degree centigrade. The temperature inside the machine will be higher. So we need to calculate the voltage across each field coil, that is EF is nothing but field current into resistance of each field coil at 75 degree centigrade. So which is equal to IF into RF. IF is the field current and RF is the resistance of each field coil at 75 degree centigrade. So this RF you can write it in terms of TF. TF is nothing but number of turns in the each field coil, and rho is the resistivity of the field coil. And LMTF is the length of mean turn of the field winding, divided by AF is the area of field conductors. So we can write it RF in terms of these parameters. Correct. From that, so where TF is the number of turns in each field coil, and IF and TF is field MMF per pole. At full load. So we can consider it as a ATFL. Correct. So field MMF per pole at full load, that is ATFL. So from that EFE you can calculate as, so here EF is a field current into resistance of each field coil. Correct. So IF into RF. So EFE is nothing but ATFL into rho into LMTF divided by AF. So IF into TF is ATFL. IF into TF is ATFL into rho into LMTF divided by AF. So that is equal to EF. So area of field conductor AF we can calculate as ATFL into rho into LMTF divided by EF. So area of a field conductor we can calculate from this equation. Next, what is the fifth step? So fifth step is value of field current can be calculated. The value of field current can be calculated by assuming a suitable value of current density in the field conductors. Normally current density in the field conductor is assumed. So that is assumed around 3 to 4 amps per millimeter square. So based on the assumption of the current density, we need to calculate the value of field current can be calculated. So field current IF is equal to current density into area of the conductor. So field current IF is nothing but AF into delta into F, where delta F is the current density and AF is the area of the conductor. Number of field turns TF is calculated as ATFL divided by IF, correct. Number of field turns TF is calculated as ATFL divided by IF from the above equation. So adjust the current density such that number of field turns to be whole number. So we need to adjust the current density, that is delta F, such that number of field turns what you are getting is should be whole number. It should not be a fraction. So seventh point is resistance of the field winding is calculated at 75 degree centigrade. So resistance of the field winding is calculated at 75 degree centigrade. So RF is equal to TF into rho into LMTF divided by EF. So TF is, that is the turns of field winding, rho resistivity, LMTF is length of mean turn divided by EF. So resistance of the winding is calculated from that equation. Next step is copper loss. Copper loss in each field coil at 75 degree centigrade can be calculated. So what is the copper loss? So copper loss at each field coil at 75 degree centigrade, QF is equal to IF square into RF. IF square into RF. IF square into RF is TF into rho into LMTF divided by EF. Correct. So TF is the number of field turns. TF into rho into LMTF divided by EF. So next, eighth point is dissipating surface of the coil. Dissipating surface of the coil is calculated from S is equal to 2 into LMT, length of mean turn, into HF plus DF. HF is the height of the field winding plus DF is the depth of the field winding. So from this equation you can calculate the dissipating surface of the coil, that is heat dissipating surface of the coil. So these are all the procedure of finding the field winding of synchronous generator. So now based on this one we need to solve some numerical problems. So first problem, the field coil of a salient pole alternator are wound with a single layer winding of bare copper strip of 30 mm deep. So copper strip of depth 30 mm deep. So we can consider it as a depth of the field winding, that is DF, with a separating insulation of 0.15 mm thickness. So insulation which is provided in that one is 0.15 millimeter of thickness. Determine a suitable winding length. So winding length we need to calculate, number of turns and thickness of conductor to develop an MMF of 12,000 amps with a potential difference of 5 volt per coil. So potential difference of 5 volt per coil and with a loss of 1200 watt per meter square of total coil surface. The mean length of the turn is 1.2 meter and the resistivity of the copper is 0.021 ohm per meter and millimeter square. So resistivity rho is considered as a 0.021 ohm per meter and millimeter square. So MMF of 12,000 amps with a potential difference of 5 volt per coil with a loss of 1200 watt per meter square on the total coil surface, it is given. What is the first step? In the first step, we need to calculate the area of the field conductor. Area of the field conductor AF you can calculate ATFL into rho into length of mean turn of field winding divided by EF. So ATFL is 12,000, that is develop an MMF of 12,000 amps, correct. So ATFL you can consider it as a 12,000 into rho, that is resistivity of the copper is given as 0.021 ohm per meter and LMTF is length of mean turn of the field winding. So mean length of the turn is given as 1.2 meter divided by EF. EF is the voltage potential difference of each coil, that is 5 volt. So if you solve this one or minimize the value, so you will be getting 60.4 millimeter square. So height of the conductor is taken as 60.4 divided by 30. What is 30? 30 is the depth of the winding. Depth of the winding, this is the total area, that is 60.4 is the area of the field conductor. If you divide it by depth of the field winding, so you will be getting height of the conductor. So that is 2 millimeter. So since 60.4 is in millimeter and depth of the field winding is also in millimeter, so the height of the conductor is 2 millimeter, that is also in terms of millimeter. So area of the conductor, now new area of the conductor is 30 into 2, that is 60 millimeter square. Now total heat dissipating surface equation is given by S is equal to 2 into LMT into HF plus DF, where LMT is the length of the meter and HF is the height of the field winding plus depth of the field winding. So if you substitute this value 2 into 1.2 into HF plus 0.03, so you will be getting 2.4 HF plus 0.072, correct. So 1.2 into 2 is 2.4, 2.4 into 0.03 is 0.072, correct. So total loss dissipated QF is given by 1200. So it is given in the statement of the problem. So 1200. What is the equation of QF? QF is nothing but IF square into TF, correct. So total loss dissipated QF is given by 1200 into 2.4 into HF. What is this one parameter is total heat dissipated is 2 into LMT into HF plus DF, correct. So based on that one, total loss dissipated QF is equal to 1200 into 2.4 into HF plus 0.072. So you will be getting 2880 HF plus 86.4. So if you multiply this one, so field current IF you can calculate QF by EF, total heat is dissipated divided by voltage. So we can say that 2880 HF plus 86.4 divided by EF is 5 volt. So you will be getting 576 HF plus 17.3. So field MMF IF into TF is given by 576 HF plus 17.3, that is IF value into TF value. So you will be getting 576 HF into TF plus 17.3 into TF, which is equal to 12,000. 12,000 is the field MMF. So 12,000 is the MMF of MMF, field MMF. So you call it as equation number 1. So height occupied by each conductor is given by 2 plus 0.15. So 2 is the height of the field winding. So 2 plus 0.15. 0.15 is the 15 mm thickness, or 15 mm is the extension. So separating insulation of 0.15 millimeter thickness, correct. So thickness of insulation is given as 0.15 millimeter. So height of the occupied by each conductor is 2 plus 0.15. So you will be getting 2.15 millimeter, correct. So therefore height of the field winding is given by HF is equal to TF into 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. So height is nothing but TF, that is number of turns into height occupied by each conductor. Height occupied by each conductor. So that is given by TF into 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. Substituting this value of HF in the equation number 1. So you will be getting 576 into HF is nothing but TF into 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3 into TF square plus 17.3 into TF, which is equal to 12,000. So number of turns in the field winding TF is given by 91, correct. So number of turns in the field winding is given by number of turns in the field winding TF is given by 91. So height of the field winding HF is given by 2.15. 2.15 is the height occupied by each conductor into 91. So that is 196 millimeter is the height of the field winding. So that is the solution of the problem. Let us solve with another problem. So problem number 2. A three-phase 1000 kVA, 3300 volt, 250 RPM, 50 Hz star-connected alternator has following open circuit and short circuit characteristics. Using the synchronous reactance method, find the field MMF required at a full load with the 8.8 power factor lagging. So, for different open circuit voltage and short circuit current, they have given the field MMF value, or you can say for different values of field MMF, field current, the value of open circuit voltage and short circuit current has been given. So it is similar to that of OCC and SC characteristics curve. Instead of drawing the OCC and SC characteristics curve, they are given the values in the table form. So if the field exciter voltage is 110 volt, length of the mean turn is 1.37 meter and resistivity is 0.03 ohm per meter and millimeter square. Calculate the area of field conductor. So we need to calculate the area of field conductor. The field coils is a single layer winding of copper strip which is 38 millimeter wide with an insulation of 0.25 millimeter between the turns. So the field coil is a single layer winding with a copper strip of 38 millimeter wide and with the insulation of 0.25 millimeter between the turns. Each turn will be having the 0.25 millimeter insulation. The external periphery is 1.49 meter, and if the loss dissipated is 5000 watt per meter square of external surface of the coil. So loss dissipated is 5000 watt per meter square of external surface of the coil. So we need to calculate the coaxial length of the coil. So we need to calculate the coaxial length of the coil. So per unit low load voltage is given by 1.23. So for calculation is per unit no load voltage is given by 1.23. So first step is we need to calculate the number of poles, that is P. Number of poles is given by 120 F by P. So here 120 number of poles is P is equal to 120 F by Ns, synchronous speed. So 120 into 50 Hertz machine with 250 RPM is the speed, if you see in the statement of the problem. So number of poles we will be getting 24. Now rated voltage per phase, since it is a star connected, so if it is not mentioned, we need to assume it as a star connection. So rated voltage per phase V is given by 3300 divided by 1.73, that is root 3. So rated phase voltage is given by 1910 voltage. So short circuit current corresponding to the rated voltage. If you rated voltage is 1910, if you see the table, so 1910 is nearly equal to 2000. So voltage per phase is 2000. Short circuit current corresponding to the rated voltage is 1910 into 232 divided by 960. So open circuit voltage which is nearer to the 1910 is 960 from the table. So in the table it is given that open circuit phase voltage is 960. 960 into 960 is short circuit current is 232. Correct. So for 960 voltage, the short circuit current is 232, means for us it is a rated voltage per phase is 1910. So what is the value of short circuit current corresponding to the rated voltage is we need to calculate. So 1910 into 232 divided by 960 voltage. So by solving that one, we will be getting 462 amps is the short circuit current corresponding to the given rated voltage. Now synchronous reactance XSC is given by V divided by ISC. So V is 1910 divided by ISC is short circuit current, that is 462 amps. So 4.13 ohm is the synchronous reactance value. So rated full load current I can be calculated as 1000. What is 1000? It is a 1000 kV. So 1000 into 1000. So we need to convert it into VA. 1000 into 1000 divided by root 3 into 3300 volt. So root 3 is converting into phase current. So rated full load current 1000 kVA divided by root 3 into 3300. So you will be getting 175 amps is the rated full load current. So no load voltage E naught is given by 1.23 into 1910. So it is given that per unit value of no load voltage corresponding to the excitation is 1.23, correct. So it is given in the question. So per unit no load voltage is 1.23. So if you multiply with the no load voltage with the per unit value, that is 1.23 into 1910, so you will be getting 2350 volts. What is meant by per unit value? Per unit value is actual value divided by base value, which is given in the problem. So it is nothing but no load voltage is more than the actual value. So no load voltage E naught equal to 1.23 into 1910. So you will be getting 2350 as the no load voltage. Next, the field MMF corresponding to the voltage 2350. If you see the table, so what is the value of voltage? Voltage is no load voltage is 2350. So for that particular voltage, what is the field MMF? So field MMF for 2300 and voltage, that is nearer to in the 2300 is the nearest value in according to the table. So for that particular table, what is the field MMF? Field MMF is 8500. So for 2350 value, so the field MMF is, you can assume it as 8500 value amps. So field MMF required at full load is 80 FL, which is equal to 8500 amps. 8500 amps. So voltage across each field coil is given by EF is equal to, so exciter voltage is 110 divided by 24. 24 is what? What is the value of 24? So if 24 is the number field coil voltage, correct. So field coil voltage per coil, field voltage per coil. So that is or 24 is the number of poles. Number of poles is 24. So voltage across each field coil is EF is equal to 110 divided by 24. So we will be getting 4.58 is the voltage. Area of field conductor is AF is equal to 8500 into 0.023. So 8500 is the field MMF corresponding to a voltage into 0.023. 0.023 is what? 0.0323 value. That is the resistivity, that is rho, correct. 0.023, yeah, resistivity is 0.0323 into 1.37. So what is the value of 1.37? 1.3 is the length of the mean turn, that is LG, divided by 4.58, that is voltage across each field coil, that is EF. So if you refer the formula, area of field conductor, you will be having IF into rho into LMTF divided by EF, correct. So area of the field conductor is given by, you will be getting 58.5 millimeter square. So next, height of the each conductor is 58.5 is the area of field conductor divided by 38. 38, what is 38? 38 is the millimeter is the depth which is given. So copper strip is having a 38 millimeter wide. So height into width is given by area. So area field conductor is 58.5 millimeter square, and height of the each field conductor is height divided by area divided by the 38. 38 is the width of the copper strip, 38 millimeter. So you will be getting 1.54 meter is the height of the field conductor. So space occupied by each turn along with the height, is 1.54 is the height of the each field conductor plus 0.25. What is 0.25? 0.25 is given as 25 millimeter is the extension or height of the spool and flanges, you can say, or insulation. It is in the question, it is given that insulation of 0.25 millimeter is there. So space occupied by each turn along with the height is 1.54 plus 0.25. So you will be getting 1.79 millimeter. So number of turns is equal to TF is equal to height of the field winding HF into 1000 divided by 179. So 179 is nothing but 1.79 millimeter. So 1.79 millimeter into 10 to the power minus 3. Correct. So this should be 1.79, not 179. 1.79 into 10 to the power minus 3 in terms of millimeter. So that I have taken in the numerator. So call it as equation number 1. Now heat dissipated is 5000. Heat dissipated is 5000 watt per meter square. So heat dissipated 5000 into 1.49 in HF, correct. So 1.49 into HF. So we will be getting 7450 HF. 7450 HF. What is? So you will be getting field current IF is equal to 7450 HF divided by 4.58, that is voltage across each field coil. So height of the field current IF is equal to 7450 HF divided by field voltage across each field coil, that is EF. So we will be getting 16.25 HF. So equation number from 1 and 2 both are calculating the field current value, and this is field current, this is number of turns. From those two equations, IF TF equal to, if you multiply 1625 HF into 1000 divided by 1.79 into 10 to the power minus 3. So 1625 into HF, that is HF square. If you see here also HF is there. So here also HF is there. So it is HF square. So HF square into 1000, that is denominator 1000. So 1.79 into 10 to the power minus 3. So that I have taken in the numerator. So 1000. So you will be getting 90 into, you can say 90,80,000 HF square, 90,80,000 HF square. But IFTF equal to 8,500. So IFTF is equal to 8,500. So that is in the problem, correct. So 8,500. So from that we can calculate HF is equal to 97 meter. If you substitute that one, so yeah, HF square is equal to 8500 divided by 908 into 10 to the power minus 3. 10 to the power 3, correct. So 908 into 10 to the power 3. So 8500 divided by 908 into 10 to the power 3. So we will be getting 9.36 into 10 to the power minus 3. So HF, hence by solving this one, HF value will be getting 97 millimeter. 97 millimeter.